bound to find it, especially something negative. If you're looking for negative, you're going to find it each and every time. So the L, you should be looking for happiness. That's the first thing to set us off. Now, O, it's going to be simple. Only, only deal with things that align with you. If you're talking about love, right? If we're talking about the actual meaning of love, you should only deal with, let's say, people, things, places that align with your goal as far as when it comes to happiness and love. Now, a lot of times we look in the wrong places, right? We be like, oh man, I should have seen that coming because I tried something that doesn't align with who I am. It doesn't align with where I'm going. So if you only look in the right places, you're bound to find exactly what you're looking for. But now you have to stay cautious because sometimes people act. They'll act like they are what you're looking for. They act like they're about what you're about. But you got to have that key to not actually fall for any BS. Right? Now, the V on this one is, I think, the most important. You got to be very intentional with your goals and your plans. That doesn't matter if it's people, places, things. Like I said, you got to be very intentional with your goals and plans. Now, when you know where you're going, it's easier to see that this person is wrong, or this job is wrong, or this situation is not my situation, or I don't need to be there, or etc. But you got to be very intentional with your goals and your plans. Your plan should line up with your goals. Like if I have a goal to expand my photography business, I shouldn't be shooting videos, right? Because I'm trying to expand my photography business. If I want to be an actor, I shouldn't be in the studio making a bunch of songs and rapping or singing, right? If I want to be a businessman, I shouldn't be out here just working a regular 9 to 5 and never understanding or learning business. So you got to be very intentional with your goals and your plans, right? Now, the last part, LOV, we up to E. Everyone will not love you the way that you love them. I'm gonna say that one again because it took me, I'm 35 now, it probably took me about 15 to 20 years to realize that everyone will not love you the way that you love them. Let me say that again. I don't think everyone will not love you the way that you love them. Right? So we already said you got to get out your own way, you know? You got to be prepared for happiness, or you got to look for happiness, or you probably are looking for happiness and everything, but you got to realize everyone is not the same, pretty much, right? Everybody's not looking for the same thing. So you have to kind of step back from the mindset of wanting or looking for love to realize that I am not being reciprocated in the way that I need, because sometimes you do need that. I think, well, everybody needs love. Let's be real. Everybody needs love. The people that saying they don't need love are damaged goods. You're damaged. Everyone needs love. Now, if you could get fueled off of hate, then you're a different type of person. Because even me, like, I have a strong dislike for people, but I'm not much of a hater, or I don't hate people. And if I do feel like, let's say the feelings of hate, it doesn't really last for too long because I'm like, you're not that important to me. Because hate is a level of control, or it's another form of love. Because now I love to hate you. I love to dislike you. That's what hate is to me. I love to dislike this person. That's what hate is. Oh, it fuels me up to dislike this job or hate this job. That's pretty much what it is for me. So you got to realize, no matter what it is, everyone, thing, or place, career, it may not have the same love that you have for it, but you have to be prepared for that, and you have to be prepared to make an adjustment. All right. So in 2024, I don't think we should be scared of love, because I feel like that was the problem with 2023 and before. I think we should focus more on loving correctly and being prepared to be loved correctly. But it all starts within. You have to know who you are and where you're coming from. But overall, this is what I got. I don't want to talk for too long, but I'm probably gonna revisit this topic with my panel to see what they feel about it. But overall, that's just how I feel. 2024, we need a lot more love in our lives, and we need to express more love in other people's lives. We need to express that in our career, our jobs, etc. Because at the end of the day, even a job is good for something, right? It's paying the bills. You're probably taking care of your family. You're able to get some new clothes, etc. It's doing something. So if you go in there with dislike or disgust or hate, etc., or if you're dealing with people with dislike or disgust or hate, etc., it's only going to keep you stuck in a certain place. So to elevate, love more, and be great. This is your host, Winter Harris, Rasheen Winter Harris. Peace. Until next time. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share, and I'll see you when we come back for the next one.
Most people have no clue that in 2023, the best.
All right. Give us a moment. We will actually be right back. Just want to discuss what love is in 2024. What does it mean? Be right with ya. Hey, we are officially starting. Hopefully, those that got to check it out is able to see the video. No Love in 2024. That's already on YouTube, but I want to talk a little bit more about it. See what everybody else feel or what they think about it. All right, I see my man Just got Jake in the building. Hey, let me set it up real quick so I can get everybody on the same page. Yeah, pretty much what I want to talk about starting off is what's love in 2024. Seems to be a different definition for everybody, which is kind of crazy. We live in a world where it seems like we redefine words to fit our narrative, let's say. So I pretty much made a video of what I think you should be looking for when it comes to love. But overall, that's just my opinion, because opinions, it's like assholes. Everybody has one, right? You know what I mean? But I guess I base mine off of my experiences, just like everybody else would. And everybody's experience could be different. But the one thing that I noticed, at least in this generation, it seems like most people are trauma bond, or the way they think about love is traumatic in a way. So I do have a question to start out. Like I always like to start out with a question. Hold on, let me make sure my people in here. I see my man Just Jiggy. You on? Where you at?
I am here.
All right, just making sure. Before we get started, just want to introduce my panel. We are all probably waiting for two more people, but we don't wait on people. Jiggy, we got Jigalodian. Then we got my man Justice. If you can, Jiggy, start. Just introduce yourself once again and let the people know who you are. Let me stop this music.
Hello, I'm Jiggy. I go by Jigalodian, but for the most part, everybody calls me Jiggy. I am a model and creative here in Houston.
She done left us. All right, it's cool out there in Houston. All right, and my man Justice. That's what we need that. We need that because most people either too disconnected to even understand where we coming from, or too connected to see the other side of things. If that makes sense, you know what I mean? Yeah. So literally, I just wanted to ask y'all, just starting off, like in society, like we know, like pretty much everything is being redefined when it comes to words. What do you think the world see love as, or what does love mean in 2024?
I'm like, I don't want to go first.
Hey, we try to be gentlemen, ladies first, but you know, what you think though?
And what about what other people see it as, or like me?
I'm saying you. Let's go with you. You could define. I mean, you could do either or, because you know, if we want to be, let's say, objective about it, you could say what the world sees. If you want to be subjective about it, you can say what you see.
We'll talk about what I feel like the world sees it as. Just because with me personally, I feel like I'm still learning what love actually is, and being in my relationship, I knew a lot of like what love is not. So we're gonna hold off on me. But as far as what I think the world sees it as, just nowadays, I feel like they are. I don't know if they're like, because earlier you were talking about like you should be looking for happiness. I don't think that they're understanding that part, only because everybody wants to look a certain way. They want to look like
Mm,
a two-parent household, or they want to look like they're with the richest person ever, or they want to look like even if they just want to look good next to somebody. I feel like they're going off of what it looks like and not necessarily what it actually is. And
mm.
with that happening, I feel like everybody is kind of just, I don't know, living with people instead of actually being in love. Versus when we like had our grandparents and stuff, like they've been with their partners for, at least mine, they've been with their partners for like 40, 50 years. And I feel like when it comes to now, especially the new generation, I don't know what they're doing. But even with mine, or even with the one right before me, I just feel like I feel like we're losing it. I don't feel like we know exactly what love is. I feel like we think it's a, I feel like we think it's, or they think it's an actual definition. Like you could really, like it's a textbook. Like it's something to actually define it. When I really don't think there is a definition. And like you said, everybody's opinion of it is so different that you really can't. When you're really in love with somebody, it's like I can't really tell you what it is.
All right. Yeah. Hey, what you got? Mm. Hmm. Mm. Yeah, facts. Infatuation. Hmm. No, I got you. I wasn't stopping you. I wasn't stopping you short. I was liking what I was hearing personally. You know what I mean? Because I kind of have a similar, like you know how we kind of have similarities. Is that I'm on a more, I guess, street level with it. Word, word. So yeah, I agree with both. And it kind of brings me to what Jiggy was actually talking about, when we was chatting about what we was gonna talk about. And I wonder if the idea of love is because of the generational gaps that we have in our society. Like, is it a difference in a well? Because I don't really think love is an opinion. Well, it can be an opinion based type thing. But do you think the way people view love is because of the generations are kind of becoming numb to love? Like, do you think it's a gap in that understanding or wanting to understand somebody? Because it's more about wanting to kind of protect yourself so you won't be caught up in the negative parts of love. Because there's always going to be a positive and negative. Mm. What you think about that, Jiggy?
I honestly have to agree. Because I'm working on myself. I'm in therapy. I'll tell you that. I'm in therapy. But,
Hold on, say what you said again. What?
hmm?
You said you was what and what?
Oh, I'm in therapy. So, I'm in couples therapy and I'm in individual therapy. And we talk about this a whole lot because I'm a person that actually runs from love.
Respect.
I am a runner, and it's because of that exact reason.
A runner. Explain
Yeah,
that. What do
like
you mean by runner? Because some
a
people may not know. I think I understand what you meant, but explain what you mean, just in case.
runner, as in like, when I
But
love
is she a track star?
when I really start to love a person, I actually do things like either try to sabotage
Mm,
intentionally, or I literally just try to find reasons for what, like, this is like, it becomes so overwhelming that I'm like, I'm out. I can't handle it. And a lot of it is because I don't want to lose it. Like, I don't want to lose this person. I don't want to lose this feeling. It has me on an extreme high. I don't want it to go anywhere.
mm,
Kind of enjoying the moment and enjoying that person while they're here. I'd rather just be like, you know what, this feels so good that I actually want to leave you.
mm. That's deep. Facts. Mm, Mm, facts. Give it up. Like, give it up. Like for real. And the fact that you said that you was in therapy working on yourself is actually a positive, because I think that's another thing when it comes to the understanding of love, because most people, they go through infatuation and consider that love, I think. And then when it smacks you in the face, or when everything goes wrong because you ignore what you thought the ideal of love is, and then when you get to the reality of things, you kind of left with a little bit of trauma, so you kind of need therapy, or you need those, I say, those isolation moments to actually heal yourself and to be able to move forward. Because I think personally in 2024, I think the generational gaps, when what's crazy is it's not I say it's the society gaps more than anything, more than the generation. It's more people following trends and following what they see, like, oh, what is it called when they be like relationship goals, all of that stupid. mm, to be honest, I think that would have been probably what, two generations before us. That's when you didn't have an option or didn't have those outside choices. That's about facts. That's like two generations ago. Yeah, facts. Hmm. Yeah. Mm. Bars. That's bars right there. Let's get that's bars right there for real. And I agree, like wholeheartedly. I agree with what you just said. And only thing I kind of I got another question about when it comes to love in general. Let's just think about it in general, not just relationship standpoint. Does does unconditional love still exist? Do you think? Yeah, no, maybe so.
I say,
Would you say, Jake?
oh, I was saying no.
No.
No, not as much as it could. No, it don't.
Why not? Why or why not?
Because I feel like, because we were talking about like kind of what people see it as now in 24. Like I feel like that's part of the problem. Like you are liking what this person does for you and can do
Mm,
for you this versus just loving that person. So you come with a sheet full of do's and don'ts and wonder why it doesn't work out. Well, you're not loving that person. So no, I don't.
I think that was a bar. I ain't gonna lie, I agree with that. I think we all agree with that one. I ain't gonna stand. I think we all agree with that one. But what do you think the main reason why love has become so conditional, or yeah, conditional? It's really conditional at certain points. I mean, there's some people that have unconditional love, but it's hard to come by in a generation. or this society, I say, this society that we live in right now. Why do you think it's like that? Like, what do you think caused it that way? Caused it to be that way? Yo, inflation. Nah, fact. That's a key point. Oh man, I personally, this is I'm gonna just share mine because what I think the reason why it's become so conditional is just because the level of access you have to options. There's a wide, even myself, like it's crazy the amount of options I have, or just anybody in general can have. It kind of makes you look like it have you keep thinking like, oh, I can get something better. Pretty much, I can get something better. So what are you? There's always something. That's it takes knowledge to know that, but when you in the prime of it, you just like you start looking at it like I can get better than that. You know what I mean? Like versus understanding and appreciating what you have at that time. So that's what I think. I think it's really due to the option, but now that inflation is hilarious. It's all good. Just like yo, cause you got people that stay together because they need a place to stay. Like it's and vice versa nowadays. Let's keep it a stack. There's a lot of boss, you know what I'm saying? Boss ladies. Yes. And the support that they have because as a collective, women support women a lot faster or easier than men support men. Because we looking at it, I can do this on my own. You know what I'm talking about? We don't need to come together. It's a problem that we have as men. That's like too much pride, I think. I've experienced that doing business. So I'll just be like, man, I'm just looking for people that's trying to win. I don't even want to work with the winners. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to conditions, like where do we find unconditional love, or how do we get that back in the mix of things? Do we just do that in our own circles and grow from there? You think? Mm. What you think, Jiggy? How do we get past this point?
Um, I don't even know. We would literally have to, I guess, in a sense, go backwards and kind of like pick up the older values that like the older generations had. Or
Mm.
honestly, I feel like if you shut down social media entirely, like we'll be straight.
That's kind of what I meant by the options as well. I just didn't want to say because we on social. I don't want to say cut us off. Don't cut us off. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, and if you just joining in right now, we talking about what love is in 2024. All right, but yeah, maybe you need to cut off the nonsense, the BS that's out there. Maybe you need to follow something positive like Candid Talk Show podcast. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, I think the same. Facts. We call that alignment. We definitely call that alignment right there, man. And that's fact. Cause I didn't have to persuade you. I was just like, yo, this was like what? And that was pretty much it, man. Here we are. Work. Yeah, man. And I like it. Jiggy, Jiggy, I want you to bring up one of your topics. Cause you had a topic that you wanted to bring up. I already kind of touched on the generational gaps, but if you had another twist on that, bring that up and let me know where we going. I want you to take us in another direction real quick.
Okay. So I guess I'll come off with this topic. And well, no, it's kind. I feel like it's adding to it.
That's
Um,
why I picked them.
just, just because I know when I was talking to you, I said stuff like, I'm only 26, but I feel like there are people that are a decade older than me that act a decade younger when it comes to dating. And I felt like maybe from
Ah!
your perspective or a man's perspective, maybe you understand because I'm not understanding. And again, I don't know if it's because I grew up with. I mean, even from my own friends at this age who like we're closer to 30 than we are 20 now,
Mhm.
but we're still. I'm kind of just having like a hard time understanding what's going on with women that are like 35 and up. And I'm choosing that just because that's kind of some of the people I've been around since being in Houston. I've been around nobody in their 20s. It's all been like 30 and up, 35 and up.
Mm.
I think that something is like fucking wrong with them. Like I don't know. I don't even.
Before you go off, Jiggy, just frame that in a question where we can answer it directly because we can go off crazy, but I want to make sure we answering exactly what the question that you have is. So just give us the question in the form where we can answer that directly, and then we could go wherever we going. So what's the
Um,
question exactly?
so I'll say, do you feel like, and I mean women who are 35 right now, by the way,
Hmm.
the
I'm
current
35,
the current
so we
5,
we know a few.
do you feel like they're becoming more? I want to say desperate, if I could put a word on it. Do you feel like is it the age that's making it more desperate, or is it the current like where we are right now in society that's making them desperate? Like, what is the desperation behind having a man? Period. Not even a type of man, just a man. Period. At 35, like what happens in the brain that makes them settle so much for less that they simply want somebody in their life right now, despite any connection, despite anything. Like what?
You got the question, Just you go first, man. Got you. I got you on the engagement part. Give me what you got. Mm. 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 Sheesh. Before I say anything, boss. Boss. I don't even. Can you give me the question again, Jiggy? I'm gonna need it one more time before I say a thing. I want to make sure I stay on topic. 'Cause I feel like I can answer that in like 3 or 4 different ways. It's a loaded question. It's really loaded. One more time, just give me the question, Jiggy, if you can, please.
Right. I think I said do you feel like it's the age with women that's applying this pressure to just kind of be in some type of relationship, or do you feel like it's society that has them kind of um just asking for anything, even if it's not even their old man? Just kind of being desperate enough, like I said, to just settle for anything that's available.
I got you. All right, so I got to give my perspective of where it's coming from as well. I grew up around women pretty much my whole life. I was the only boy in my household. When it come to living or chilling with other family, it's mostly women around me. Player background. I'm not a player no more, but I don't want to be a player no more. You know, so just a changing of my mentality, and when I'm trying to actually get to know someone on a deeper, more intimate level, what I'm starting to realize more than anything, there's a lot more women that chose the career path and became so independent, it doesn't really leave room for a man. And by the time that they realize that, it's hard to change and find somebody that's compatible with. Um, from what I've been seeing, is typically they're pushing the partner that probably worked the best for them away, and they're rethinking about the person that they used to be infatuated with, which was always bad for them in the first place. You know what I'm saying? So that comes kind of goes back to what we were saying before about the conditional love. The conditional lover is probably not going to be your unconditional lover, if that makes sense. Because you have so many conditions for that person that's going to qualify, but by the time that you find that person that qualify, they may not want you because now you don't qualify for what they want. You know what I mean? It's so that's what I've been seeing more than anything. So I hope hopefully that was clear, but it seems like there's just a difference in mentality when it comes to women that are, let's say, single by that time, that's not really or haven't built the family that they wanted. And then it's definitely pressure because let's be honest, 35, if you haven't had kids and you have that ticking clock, which becomes very dangerous to build that family, or it's too late. So it's definitely pressure to get things going right now, right here. Um, I can't even say who, but I definitely have some family members that try to force it and just jump into marriage with the first person that's just willing to do it. You know what I mean? And that's horrible because now you just married somebody you don't know. And when it comes to relationships, it does take some time to find the right partner or the right mentality that clicks with you that's going to be with you for a long period of time. And by the time they in your 30, late 30s, mid 30s, you kind of just want everything to just fall in place and they kind of force it. It's like a Lego block trying to mix in with a circle, like some other type of blocks. It's not. It's the wrong puzzle pieces. It's not really connecting, but they're smashing that together and just trying to make it work, and then it all just crumbles apart. So it's a cycle of the same old after a while, and everybody gets tired on both ends. So that's not even just the woman's side; it's the man's side. I don't deal with that shit. And then when you're kind of keen enough to see what's going on, you fall you niggas gonna run. They gonna turn into track stars, like what you were saying before. So it's a lot of sabotage. It's a lot of just I say the trauma from not healing. Like some people just don't take time to heal or get to know them in general, and now you just forcing everything to fall in place. That was a long ass answer, but hopefully it made sense. What do you think, Jiggy?
I agree with the both of y'all. Damn, it was something I was about to say. I
My
think
bad for that
somebody
long
mentioned.
ass answer.
Oh,
But hold up.
it was long. What was it?
Yeah.
It was something mentioned about loneliness. And
Mm,
then here I touched you touched on like finding happiness. I think from what I see, like in the quote unquote friends that I have here, is that they think that whatever they're not getting from themselves, they're going to get from
A
the
partner.
person. And that's completely incorrect, because if you're lonely now, you're going to be lonely in your relationship. And
Yeah,
that's like an even feeling than being literally by yourself. Like, I agree, and then I feel like a lot of that is what makes people have these conditions, because they're looking for, like I said, their own missing pieces in somebody else, when it's really you're actually supposed to come as whole as you can. It's not really the other half of you that you're looking for.
that's a fact. That. mm, mm, yeah, mm, mm,
Mm-hmm.
mm. You want to go first, Jiggy, or am I taking this? Because I go.
There you go.
All right, for me personally, I've definitely been there, and what I would say is open communication early, and being honest about being intentional with my dating, pretty much, and making sure the partner that I'm at least pursuing is intentional with what they want as well. I think that's the biggest issue that most people have, is that you're just trying to, like I said before, force things that don't match. So you kind of got to make sure that y'all are heading, at least, like, you don't got to be doing it the same way, but at least heading towards the same goal. And that's one thing that I'm very honest. I rather push you away with my honesty than to lie to you. Like, I'm one of those people. Like, I'd rather you hate what I'm talking about versus me lie to you to make you feel good, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? So that's really what I think is. I was kind of just talking to somebody about this earlier. Supposed to be here, but they ain't here right now. We was talking about how, because she was saying about how women pretty much are, they're willing and accepting of the truth, and I was saying, yeah, sometimes, but other ways, like, the truth will push them away, and that's technically what you would want if you're looking for an intentional partner. You know what I mean? And most people are looking. Sadly, I said that most women are looking for a lie, and that's the 35. They're looking for a fantasy lover that doesn't exist. They're looking for a fantasy ideal of their future that doesn't exist. So I think you got to be intentional about who you are, what you are, where you're going, and then the same thing with your partner. You got to understand who they are, what they are, where they're going. And I think that's the best way to even find unconditional love in general, because that's rare, like we said. I'm gonna cut it there because I know I got them long ass answers. Go ahead, Jiggy.
I'll have to agree with you on communication. because that is some of the things that I learned. Because we didn't really start having communication issues until I got pregnant, where we
Mm,
was completely up. And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I can't even talk to him. Like, and he can't talk to me. We can't talk to each other. So I think communicating effectively is what I'll add. Just the word effective, because we talk all day, but if nobody's really like hearing each other or listening, like you're really just kind of talking in circles. And I feel like your everyday will reflect that nobody is listening if you just kind of keep going about it before everybody's like on the same page.
mm.
Outside of that, I think I'll use the word expectations. I think if I had to like date all over again, let me say, because I love my person. I don't want to be back out here in the rough, but yeah. So if I had to meet him, I'll say that if I had to meet him all over again, I think I would eliminate my expectations, not necessarily lower standards, but eliminate what I expected from him. Because that wasn't really fair to him by coming with all these expectations of what I expect him to do and what I expect him to be like. And I feel like if I'd have just entered it, kind of just like going with the flow and kind of letting it happen versus trying to direct it to how I wanted it to go, I feel like that would eliminate a lot of conflicts. um, I can feel like, I mean, I might talk shit about women that's 35 and up, but I feel like women in general, we're kind of like fantasy people. Like we all want this fairy tale
It's
love.
kind of what I just
I
said. But
feel
go ahead.
like I feel like we all want a fairy tale, and I feel like some of my own expectations was given that like unrealistic. Like I don't know what I thought this was gonna be. I don't know why I thought it was gonna be easy. So I think I would just give advice of like maybe just eliminate expectations altogether and kind of let it direct itself versus you trying to control where the love is gonna go or where you even want it to go. And I'll leave it right there.
I'll take it. I'll take that. And personally, I think it'll be a lot easier in general for most people to find a good partner if they'll eliminate those ideals of what they think it is versus what it really is. So yeah, I'm 100% agreeing with you on that one. Wasn't I could have sworn you had something else. What was the other one?
Like another question.
Mm-hmm.
I want to talk about the idea of letting yourself go. Like, what is it? And this is because I had conversations with like my friends and even my dad and my grandfather. He mentioned something about like don't let yourself go after the baby, and I was like, well, what you mean? Like my regardless of what I look like. And he was like, I'm warning you because I love you. I'm your dad. Keep your shit together. Like you are too young to let yourself go. And
Mm.
my person has never looked at me and said like you've gained too much or you look different or you look. But I hear from other men like even for reasons they have left in their past, like she looks totally different. And I'm like, well, that should have nothing to do with it. But I think I kind of feel the vibe a little bit. Like just imagine if I mean, because I think I look pretty good. But like in myself, I'd be livid if I didn't look like this for as long as possible. And that's just because of like, I enjoy being a certain way, having a certain kind of body, having this. And then I'm like, well, I'm sure my man does too because he demonstrates that. Just imagine if I had control over whether or not this changes, which I do. If I just completely let it go to shit right now at 26 and we're supposed to live the rest of our lives together, I just feel like I I just have so many mixed feelings about this letting yourself go thing. And I've had friends be like, well, single friends at that, just be like, you shouldn't put pressure on yourself to be a certain way for your man. But
Never listen to the single friends.
I'm so in the middle about
Never, never listen to.
it.
Tell that single friend to shut up.
I'm so in the middle about it
Tell
because
her
I'm
watch
like,
her
well,
single mouth.
that's kind of hot. You're saying, but
I'm sorry.
I don't feel like they would get until they're actually with the person. Like it's not that he looked at me and said like, "Hey, you need to go to the gym. You're getting fat." It's me just kind of wanting to keep my man, like just period.
Ugh. Yeah, I'm gonna go on mute. Ugh. Did you say a foot? Did you say a foot? Yeah, that's crazy. That's facts. Yeah, that's a fact. Mhm. Mm. Fact. You ain't the only one. You ain't the only one. Mm, I feel it. Um, hmm. I I gotta say, I think it's down to understanding your partner, and I'm gonna just be subjective and talk about how I am when I date. I'm pretty upfront about what I'm attracted to and what I'm not. So if for one, I think all men have an appetite of the eyes. You know, it takes a man of discipline to control what he looks at. You know what I mean? And not to, let's say, hunger for it in a way. But when it comes down to me choosing a partner, I'm a sapiosexual, so I like the mind, but I am attracted to the body as well. There's certain parts that I can't change about myself. So overall, I'm always keeping it funky from the beginning that, hey, listen, let's keep ourselves intact to where we are attracted to each other. And I'm be honest, if you falling behind or if I'm falling behind, I would like to know, hey, if I'm getting to a point where you're not attracted to me, let me know. You know what I mean? Or vice versa. So we can actually work on it. If it's something, especially like what we talking about, letting ourselves go, wait, maybe that's doing the you don't get your hair cut. Maybe it's somebody that's not cleaning themselves the way they supposed to. They're not wearing the fragrance the way they was wearing the fragrance. Whatever it may be, whatever was attracted to you in the beginning, I think you got to be conscious of what that is to that person. That way, you can keep that. I think attraction is very big in a relationship in general. So it's a part of keeping that part there, keeping that hunger there. It's going to come and go. I think when you really in any relationship, it's going to come parts where you be like, this smug, I don't even, oh yeah, you know what I mean. But overall, it's to understand your partner and what your partner wants or what your partner likes. I think that's very important. And sometimes it may not be a problem. Like we are saying, some people gain a little extra, and your partner can love that because you don't. Depends on your partner. So like certain people, like I got a couple friends that's chubby chasers, like chubby chasers. So if it's gaining a little extra weight, he gonna be like, "Yo, get you two plates, baby. You want an extra plate? Yeah, eat my plate, baby." You know, he gonna feed her up overall, but I'm just saying, for real. So it's really about understanding your partner when it comes to that letting go or letting yourself go part. But I think it's very important about how you feel about yourself overall. Like you go if you are a confident person and if you don't feel confident in the way that you're carrying yourself at that point, then that's really going to be the overall issue. You know what I mean? But yeah, so that's what I got on that. I don't want to be long winded, but yeah, yeah, that's what. 2 more minutes. little bit. I mean, I'm trying not to go too far. I'm trying to keep it as clean as I can because, like I said, I'm an a-hole when it comes to certain things, and I'm very direct and blunt. So I just try, like I said, I think that's the most important thing when it comes to relationships is that communication, having that open line of communication with your partner. Because for one, you got to be able to be like you got to be able to talk to somebody and then be able to receive it. Otherwise, it's going to seem like it's criticism, and criticism is unwanted advice at the end of the day. So we don't want to be doing that because I don't want to make somebody feel bad about themselves, and I've done that before. You know what I mean? So I have to have that open communication from the beginning, and that's why I started that way. The way it starts is the way it's going to go. Like if you expected something else, like oh he's gonna soften up. No, I'm gonna soften up to the probably to the way that I treat you, like the things that I'm gonna provide for you. That's the things I soften up on. But the way that what I like and what I don't like is pretty set at this point of 35 years old. You know what I mean? So I believe in unconditional love, and I can't love somebody unconditionally because I've definitely had a partner where I'd be like, hey, that extra little weight look, damn, that shit jiggling a little bit more than it was before, baby. You know what I'm saying? But it depends on the person because everybody, I feel like the world is getting a little bit more shallow as well. And like I said, it's mainly because of all the extra options. It's the grass always seems greener on the other side, but it's normally not. So yes, that's a mentality thing. You got to get yourself with somebody that's mature enough to understand what life really is versus somebody that's just, oh, I see that swipe right, swipe left. You can't get a swipe left, swipe right type of mentality person and think you're going to grow a relationship with them. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Mm-mm. That part. What you think about that, Jiggy?
I agree. I like both y'all answers a whole lot.
I try to keep it clear, you know what I'm saying? Because they be saying that I hate women. They be trying to say, I'm like, how?
No, you're just extremely honest.
How?
Like I think
I love them is the problem. I love women a little bit too much.
I learned how
Break
honest
my
you are.
heart. Do it again. Oh, but I love you. Oh, let me ask you a question. Do you believe that there's suckers for love still? Or is this just simps with money? Jiggy?
You're asking me. I mean, I think I do. I believe it. Yeah, that was a yes. I believe it.
Believe there's suckers for love still?
Yes, I do.
Hmm. What do they look like in this day and age?
Now that I wouldn't really know what that looks like unless I'm like literally talking to a person. You would just have to. I mean, they don't look like anything. I feel like they can look like anything
So
if
give
that
me
makes.
an example of what you think a sucker for love would be or what they would do that qualifies them to be a sucker for love. If they're
Um,
not simping, because we know what simping is, right?
maybe you should give some definitions so I can answer
I
better.
want to know yours, but I can't give you some. I don't want to deter or change what you have in
It's
your brain.
not, but I need a little more understanding as to what you're asking.
All right, so what's another term I would say for a sucker for love? I guess a hopeless romantic. Let's say, are there any more hopeless romantics, or are there just simps with money?
But what's a simp?
A simp, best way to explain it. I equate it to a trick. You know what a trick is?
Okay.
Okay, it's the same thing to me.
Okay. Well, I still wouldn't know what that looks like. Maybe what they'll do, I think, hmm, I don't know, Winter. Like this is a hard one because my brain fucked up. Like
Oh,
that's just
Don't. Yeah, yeah. Mm, mm. No, I do agree with you, and I kind of related to what Jiggy was saying before. How there's a lot of women that actually running a little bit more than I think the men are nowadays. I don't. I think it's really that that what is it? The womanist movement. I think that's kind of promoted to not really think about love and family when you should think about love and family. You know what I mean, early on, they think that they could wait till. Well, yeah, womanist. I actually just got put onto the womanist because technically it's feminist is supposed to be what Caucasian women. So I'm mainly talking about black women. That's who I date. So womanist is supposed to be those that just promote exactly. So it's really the same thing in my opinion, but I kind of got I got finger quote checked. Yeah. But I think it's a problem with any group that kind of separates yourself and puts you above the other. Because what do you think? They got the womenists, they got the guy groups, with red pill, all that other shit. Any group that makes you think that I got to be above this person versus us being together, I think is going to be the problem in general. Because yeah, like it doesn't align. It doesn't align. You got to push somebody down to be up. That's a problem. You know. So a lot of times when I'm speaking from that aspect that hey, let's figure out a way to bring it together. And if we can't bring it together, then we don't need to be together. You know what I mean? And that makes more sense to me. But yeah, the ideologies of all of I probably said that fucked up. I feel like but you know what I mean. The idea of all of these groups is really to, I guess, to empower the individual, but it ruins the what I say the community because you gotta. I think we all gotta build our own little communities before we can come together as a whole society. You know what I mean? And that's the problem. The family structure is broken down to a point where there is really no structure in family. So I think we gotta break through like with talks like these and kind of open up the brains of some people that's not even really thinking about it and kind of reprogram or at least help to start reprogramming the ideas that should be there. And family is very important. Uniting with somebody as a partner, however, is very important. The right partner, that is. The things that's being promoted, you'll end up with the wrong partners. The things that's they're forcing us to be like in a way because they advertising in front of us so much. You're being forced to be attracted to the wrong things. So I think that's the biggest problem with all of this overall. Technically, from the beginning of what we was talking about, from to now, you know. Hmm. That part. No, that's a fact. And that really comes with experience and maturity, honestly, because I'm not gonna act like I'm better or wasn't in that same mindset probably a few years ago until I was just like, hey, what the fuck am I doing? And then started clicking, like, because I started realizing I was attracted to a lot of toxic shit in general, like just in general. So the toxic shit leads to toxic people and toxic situations. You kind of gotta change all of that. So you change your situation, change the toxic people, and now you kind of get out of a toxic state of mentality. And that's the way I think that a lot of people kind of gotta reprogram or get away from, because that's the stimulant. Where the stimulation is toxicity. That's what society has right now, and it's being programmed. It's advertised in front of us to be more toxic. That's why, like a lot of these reality TV shows, it's always showing more toxic, more drama, more aggression online. When you go scrolling, it's more toxic, more aggression. That's going to get the most views, the most likes, etc. You know what I mean? So it's advertised in front of our faces that way, which makes you start to think like, maybe I should be more like that. That looks to be what I should be doing. But big facts. Like, big facts. Just like I even think about like what we doing with this whole podcast. Like it's probably not going to grow as fast as, let's say, if we was cussing each other out and arguing all the time, right? It's too peaceful. I need Jiggy to call me a bitch. You know, like you bitch. Like it gotta be a lot going on for it to catch. You ain't talking about that. Like word. So it's just the world that we live in. But at the same time, you got to keep pushing or keep fighting through till you get to the right areas. Like you said, the 5%, and or at least those people will start to hear it first and maybe start to share it. You know what I mean? And then from there, we can try to help those that are on the other side. We can't worry about you know what I'm saying? We can't worry about the ones we can't help at the end of the day, or the people that's not willing to listen. Because even if it's, let's say, if you're opposing, even even if you're objectively against everything we're talking about, if you're listening, eventually we're gonna have a point where you can be like, you know what? That's right. I think I agree with that. You know, we're gonna come to a alignment somewhere. So, and that's the spark of change. 'Cause when you start seeing things different from what you're used to, and if it's toxicity is what people are used to, then they kind of got to get to a point where that's not that shouldn't be good for me or normal for me at this point. I want to do something different, and I think that's shout out to Jiggy what she was saying, going to therapy and wanting to change, and that it had to spark somewhere for her to want to make that change. And I think even for myself, like I had to hit rock bottom to actually want to change. Like, oh damn, rock bottom. Oh, whoa, can't go no lower than this. God, help, help. And then the help, really, like I said, it came from changing the toxic situations, toxic people, and the toxic things that I was doing in my own. So, hey, it's taking accountability at the end of the day. That's the hardest part for, I think, the world. Word. But overall, honestly, this was a great pod. I enjoyed this one. Do y'all have anything that y'all want to say before we wrap up? Let's save that gender ones. Yeah, let's say that for next one, because I do have something that could actually link to as far as a different subject. But that's going to be a very touchy one, especially in this society that we live in. Gender is almost I don't even know what to say about it right now. Like, I see. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just share this. What I just seen. It was one person saying that my gender is what it was. It was a man, woman, and non-binary. Wait, so you're this, that, but none at the same time? The worst one was probably the one I just reshared, where that person was like, "I'm a wolf." I oh, if you got anything to wrap it up, go ahead. If you want to say some last thoughts or anything that you think that take away from the pod, go ahead. Justice, you can take it away. Jiggy, follow that up right after. And like that. Jiggy, what you got to wrap it up? What's your last thoughts?
I don't really have any, but I will say that I enjoyed today. I enjoyed the conversation. And I agree that, for people to not give up on love and definitely try to work it out because it's literally little simple shit and kinks that can be just change just a little bit to literally give you both more peace in your lives.
Mm, respect, respect. And I guess if I could get my last, I just want to thank my panel. I ain't gonna lie, y'all had. I like the differences in perspectives, but at the same time, we kind of align at the end of the day, which is actually a great as far as the conversation goes. This was a great topic. We might have to revisit this. I kind of want to have a bigger panel. I got a feeling there's people that's going to disagree with what we talked about today. I'm like, you don't know what you're talking about. It is what it is. At the end of the day, they can say whatever they want. But yeah, I think the world needs more love unconditionally and need to learn how to do unconditional, which is understanding. And like Justice said, I'm 100% with that. Love is understanding at the end of the day. If you don't understand somebody, you can't tell them that you love them. You can't be in love or show love if you don't understand yourself and others. So that's all I got for this pod. And we'll be back. If you're watching, please make sure you hit that subscribe, hit the bell so you can get the notifications, like, comment, and share. And if you want to, hold up, y'all got to let people know where to find y'all because y'all hitting some deep points. Before we go, one more time, Jiggy, let them know where they can find you. One more time, one last time, if you can. Justice, let them know where they can find you. All right. That part, please. Please, I block people on a regular. Please don't come at me with no weird stuff. Please, like and I'm a comedian too. I will cut your ass. Stop. And I'm gonna just stay represent Jigalodian on all platforms because she may be busy with the baby. So we're gonna end this podcast here. Thank you for joining once again, y'all. Y'all have a great night, and we'll do this again next Sunday. I'm thinking of another day to do it during the week. I just don't know, but I kind of want to have a fun one when we just had some fun topics. But this was a deep one overall. But we're gonna hit a deeper topic next week. We're gonna do that one what you talking about with the gender and the roles. I want to do that next week. Let's get that one going. And peace, love, keep it candid, y'all.